Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Devin Rex for Art. So today I'm going to try some Suminagashi. So I was playing around with marbling techniques, marbling paper with shaving cream and inks and whatnot, and I came across videos about Suminagashi, which is Japanese technique, I think started in, I believe, the 12th century, and apparently it means floating ink. So that's a technique for making marbling papers. This one here I had done using this ink, which I assume is Sumi ink. It's from Japan. I just bought it at a local store, so I don't know exactly what it's called. I had used that here. And the purple, I had used the Bombay ink, which I found tended to sink a lot. I don't know if that's true. I might have just been putting my brush in too far. So I went ahead and I ordered this kit from Boku Undo for Suminagashi. And this isn't a new kit. It's been around quite a while. When I was looking at videos, a lot of people I saw using this. And it does have, what I wanted to try this for is because it has different colors. So I wanted to see if I got maybe brighter results or better results with these colors compared to the Bombay ink that I had tried. This does come with some instructions. It says, things to prepare, different things you can marble on. I think it doesn't have to be just paper. I think you can marble on fabric. And then you can use mirror die fix to fix solution onto fabric. I'm just going to use paper. This is interesting. It says the water used has a hardness of 100 or less. When the hardness is high, the ink will not floating on the water surface and sink to the bottom. If tap water has high hardness, use commercial available for steam iron, cooking, etc., not containing mineral ingredients. Interesting. A material to be marbled, such as paper, cloth, hide, or wood, which soaks up water well. A kitchen pan larger than material to be marbled. You need paper towels, newspapers, something to stir the water, like a paintbrush. So I know that our water here is pretty hard, so I'm not sure how this is gonna work, but we'll try it. They also have these things called float paper, where it's like a little disc and you can put the ink on it and let it go around to make a design. I don't know if I'm going to try that today. I'm going to link a lot of the videos that I watched below. So if you want, I'm not an expert. This is not a tutorial. This is just me playing around. If you want to see, better tutorials, then check out the links below. This is another example of one of the prints I did myself using this ink, and I used what I believe is rice paper or some sort of calligraphy paper to pick it up. It came in a roll, so I cut off pieces that are going to fit properly into my tray, and I notice it has a porous side and a slightly smoother side. So when I did that other print, I did use the porous side, so maybe I'll do one using the smooth side to see if there's a difference. And then I got out some other papers that I'm gonna try. When you dip your paintbrush, it's supposed to be like a nice little point. This one here, when I wet it, this is a really cheap little brush. It does come to a point. So that one's, I think, acceptable. So I did go ahead and I ordered some extra brushes. I was watching Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, and she had bought a set of these. And they're actually like a water brush where you can pull up water and use these like a water brush. Today I'm just going to use them for the ink. I'm not going to be pulling up any ink into them. But that might be interesting to try. So I'll just be using them as is. So I'm going to probably pause, and feels like there's lots of sizing on there. So I'm going to just unpack these. Okay, so I've got all my brushes washed. I got one for every color. I don't think you need to do that, but the package came with 6, so that's what I bought. And you don't need a special brush like that. Like I think any brush that comes to a point will do. So even like something like that would probably be fine. And I don't have any non-mineralized water, so I'm just going to use tap water and we will see what happens. So I'm just going to pour the water in now. This is just a plastic tray that goes on a casserole dish, and you don't need a lot of water. You only need maybe ½ an inch. So I'm going to pour that in. We'll see if that's pretty good. And then I'm going to pour out my inks. It probably would be good to have like a palette, a proper palette, but I like to use what I have, and I didn't have a proper palette that was unused, so I'm just going to use just some lids. This is from a water bottle. This is from, I don't know, probably kombucha. So I'm just going to put a little bit of each color. I don't know if they have to be shaken. I guess I'll shake it a bit. I don't know. And I think also it's important that the water be very still. I know some people on the videos, they rest their forearms on their tray, but my tray is not very stable. It's just a plastic tray, which bends pretty easily. So I'm going to try to not do that. Water and a bit of plain dish soap in a cup here, and you can use that to make your clear space. I think I'll just start with the black and the soapy water. And I know when I was doing this before, I noticed that the first few touches didn't really do much. So you just touch the tip. To the water. And it's hard to see right now because the ink is dispersing through the whole tray. I can see it just very faint. So I'm just gonna go back and forth till it becomes more obvious. So you just keep going back and forth, and it's very relaxing. So you see where there's a white space? That's from the soapy water pushing the ink away. And this does seem to be floating very well. You can alter the thicknesses of the circles by how long you hold it in there. You don't have to stay in one spot. You can go to other spots. So I can go over here and start another one. Again, I don't want to rest my hand on the edge of my tray because, like I said, it's not very stable. You can see here how my tip split into 2 and it's giving an interesting pattern there. I'm going to just kind of try to get it back to 1. So you could just pick that up. Here you can see where I went too far in and it's sinking, but it won't affect the print. So you could just pick it up like that, You could blow air on it to make it move. You could use a fan to create currents. So let's try that. I just use my little Devon Rex for Art fan here. If you use a straw, you can like create more of a circular current. You can use a skewer. I'm just gonna do that. I think that's kind of neat. I haven't done one like that before. So I'm gonna use my rice paper and I'm gonna use the porous side down. And I say to start on one end so you don't get air bubbles. And just lay it down like that. You can see the pattern has got on there. And then you just lift it up. With rice paper is it's very delicate. There we go. So I'll show it a picture when it's dry. So there's the print or the paper. So now I have to find a spot to put all these wet papers that are coming. So let me just go do that. But I love like the little edges there. I think that's just really cool. Okay, I'll be right back. There's a remnants of ink on the surface. One video I watched talked about using newspaper to get rid of the ink on the surface, but I think paper towel should pick it up pretty good. So there. Let's try, let's add some other colors, and this time we'll pick it up with a different, we'll pick up with the rice paper, but we'll use the back side, the smooth side, and see how that goes. So let's add some blue. So I've got black on one and blue on the other. Here I went too far under the surface and you can see some of that black ink fell to the bottom. But that won't really affect the print anyhow. I'm going to use a skewer and just stir the water. So that looks kind of cool. You can see some of the black ink falling below the surface. Alright, so this time instead of the porous side, I'm going to try the shiny side. Let's see if it still picks up. Couple little air, you can see the air bubbles there. So I don't know if that will. Try to push it down a bit more, see if that'll get the ink. I don't think so. Okay, let's pull that up. Oh, wow, that's brighter than I thought it would be. That's cool. All right, I'll show you that one when it dries. And that looks messy in there, but I don't know if it's gonna. A lot of that ink is under the surface, so let's not worry about it. All right, let's try another color. So this is blue. I'm gonna make this green. This one's got a little hair coming off. Let's take that out. All right, so I have a straw and I have a stir stick, which is kind of like a little straw. So I think I'm gonna use a stir stick first to see what happens. Just try plain copy paper. This time I'm gonna go from the middle out to see if that's easier to not get air bubbles. I think it was good until I dropped it at the end. So just lightly touching that paper, making sure it contacts. Here you can see the pattern develop. Just gonna give it a little bit more time over here. Again, I'm not an expert, so if I can do this, you can do it. And I think the trick is to pick it up pretty quickly. I don't know. So there's that one. And it looks so much more vibrant on the paper than it did in the water. And I'm curious to see once it dries if it still looks this vibrant. Let's add, let's do some red and some blue. I'm gonna get the blue in my right hand. Actually, I'm gonna get more blue out. There's the blue. So one lady, she did like, she had multiple paint brushes. I can try that. What the heck, right? All right, so there's the blue, and then I've got red in that one, and I've got green in this one. Blue, red. Actually, I'm gonna switch the double to my right hand because my right hand is more, definitely more agile. Coordinated. Blue, red, green. So this was red, this is blue, this is green. pick up this time. I'm gonna try this linen resume paper. This stuff. This is paper. Better. Fingers crossed. Now, I don't see it coming through. I don't know if that's just because the paper not absorbing it. Take a peek. Oh, it's on there. All right, let's lift it up. Sorry, the camera. So that's on linen colored paper. I'm gonna try it on this paper, which doesn't seem very absorbent. Let's do these warm colors. Do red and orange and yellow. Let's see what happens. I might just run the paper towel through the, sort of skim it. So I think even though the color, the water is getting discolored, I don't know that it affects the print very much. So here you can see that's picked up that blue. I don't know. Well, we'll find out. If there's a lot of blue or green on this next print, we'll know that maybe we need to clean the water in between a little bit better. So let's try it. I could see doing this with some music playing. Like right now I don't have music playing because of copyright issues, but I could totally just spend an afternoon just going back and forth with the colors. Kind of like meditating. Okay, I'm gonna start adding some yellow. Get some orange. This is yellow, this is red, this is orange. Boy, when you have more than one, it's hard to keep them straight. All right, here's orange, yellow. That yellow is very bright for yellow. I always think that yellow doesn't show much. And you don't have to keep the same order. You can just do whatever you feel. Right? I could do this one and a bouquet. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to do blow, blow, and then fan. Where's my fan? Blow, blow, fan, and then pick up. All right. right, see this one soaked up right away. So let's pick that up. So that's kind of cool. It's a different way to dye book pages, and you can see a little bit of that blue, so I think that is causing an effect on the color. Let's see if this one picked up the ink. I feel like it did. Let's try. And it did. Well, that's kind of neat. Oh, it's dripping a lot. Maybe because it's not as absorbent, a lot of the excess ink is coming off, so I'm just going to touch it to the side here on my blotting paper, just because I don't want it to run across and ruin the whole pattern. Do that, just kind of scrape it there. So that's really, I'm surprised that worked. So again, I'll show that once it's dry. So I did like it on this paper. You can see the very delicate pattern picked up and didn't obscure the image or the text. But I wanted to show you, I want to zoom in and just show you how you can see a little bit of the blue that was on the surface. If you want truly pure colors and you don't want contamination, I would work a bit harder at cleaning off the excess ink in the tub. Let it sink too far, so I think maybe it is better to go from one end to the other. And let's go again. Ooh, me likey. I think that's my favorite. Not very marbly, but very fun. So this one's definitely my favorite. It's like I said, it's not really marbly, but I just found I like sort of doodling with the ink, but I'm definitely gonna, keep playing with this technique. A few final thoughts. I did do an experiment with the Bombay inks that I had, the purple and the yellow one. I do have other colors, but I didn't find it as satisfactory. If you can see the variations in the ink, which I guess that would be okay. And also the yellow definitely didn't seem as bright as the Boku Undo, is that right? Boku Undo ink. This is on the calligraphy or rice paper. This is copy paper, so if we compare it to copy paper, even there you can see this yellow is just more dense than this one. This one's more transparent. And in the same tub I was doing this, I thought, I wonder if I could combine the the other ink. So I tried that, but I think this ink was just more powerful, and the Suminagashi ink just couldn't overtake it. So you definitely can't combine the two. If you don't have the marbling kit by Buko Undo, then that's fine. You can get something similar using Bombay ink or maybe other inks, I'm not sure, but definitely I would not combine them. Another thing I noticed was this is a little strip I had used to pick up an edge, and I wondered, is the marbling ink from that set, is it permanent? And I've already done this on here. I used a paintbrush to see if I could reactivate it, and it does. So I did that here already, and it does seem to be permanent, so it doesn't really move. Even the black one doesn't. Another thing I tried was on tracing paper, and that was pretty much a fail. I guess, you know, you could maybe use it for something, but the tracing paper just wasn't absorbent enough. As soon as I took it out, the ink just started just running right off. So that doesn't really work, but again, you can see on here, I'm not even sure which side that was on, the ink doesn't move. So it is permanent. So that's pretty cool. So thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I hope you enjoyed it, and go out there and play, enjoy yourself, and I'm going to be making more of these papers. All right. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.